Hey guys, so I'm here today to share with you my Vbac story. Actually, technically my whole Vbac journey. When I found out I was pregnant with Shane, I knew from the very beginning that I wanted a Vbac. I did have a scheduled C-section with my first son, and that was only because he was breached, so I never got to go through labor. I never did any of that. I never felt a contraction my first pregnancy, nothing. So you might be thinking, well, you're crazy. Why would you want to experience that? Why would you want to go through the pain the second time around? And that's because a number of things. I didn't want to deal with the recovery of a C-section again. For me, that was just so difficult, and I didn't enjoy it at all. Thankfully, it went well, and he came out healthy and great and everything, but I didn't want to deal with that type of recovery again. I didn't want to open up my scar. I didn't want to do any of that. So I just knew that when I got pregnant again, I wanted to try for a VBAC, and I felt like I was kind of robbed of going through with a natural birth with Hudson because he was just flipped the wrong way. So I figured, why wouldn't I try again? And so that's when I made my decision. As soon as I found out and was looking for an OB doctor, I wanted to find somebody who was VBAC friendly. So I did just that, and I found my doctor. She was great. She's very supportive of the VBAC, and not only did I want a VBAC, but I wanted to do it 100% natural. I didn't want any medication, any epidurals, absolutely nothing. And you might be thinking, what the heck are you thinking? Again, but I just wanted to do it the all-natural way, and I knew that I was capable of doing it. I knew that I was going to have the strength, no matter how hard it was going to be. I knew I could do it. And so all the months leading up to birth, giving birth, I did tons of research. I watched millions of videos on YouTube, story after story and woman after woman talking about their birth. And it actually even drove my husband crazy because he's like, oh my God, would you quit watching the videos? Like, he couldn't wait for the baby to be born, so that way all the videos would stop. But anyway, I was encouraged also to, if I had a successful VBAC, I was going to make a video as well. So here I am. So anyway, the birth story. So I woke up on a Sunday morning feeling kind of crampy. Like I said, I never went through labor the first time around, so I didn't know what to expect. So I felt kind of crampy, and I was like, okay, I had just turned 39 weeks that day, and I was like, maybe this is something. I don't know. I didn't want to get too excited because I just thought, I don't know, we'll see how long this lasts. So I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm woken up by the pain. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. I'm 39 weeks, literally due any day. So, and he had measured big at all my doctor's appointments. So I thought, the whole time they told me he's measuring large, and I don't know if they had my due date wrong or what, but that he was measuring big. So I was 39 weeks that day, and I felt the pain, and I just watched every hour, and it stayed consistent. It didn't stop. It didn't slow down. Didn't really intensify until later in the day. And so I called. So I'm experiencing these pains. It's like 7 a.m. and we keep going on. 8, 9, 10, 11 rolls around. Contractions, at this point they were contractions, they didn't stop. They were about 7 to 10 minutes apart. Not painful, really bad at all, but they were there, and they did not slow down. So I get up and I go use the restroom, and boom, my mucus plug comes out. And I'm like, oh my God, my heart is racing. I didn't know what to think because I was like, okay, I haven't been through this before. So of course I call my mom, like, okay, I think it came out. Like, this is what it looked like. And she's like, yes, that is it. And then I go, you know, obviously finish up using the bathroom, and then I go walk to the kitchen and I start feeling like trickling fluid, and I'm like, oh my God, my water just broke. And I tell my husband, he's like, are you serious? And then I text my mom, I'm like, my water just broke. And then everybody's getting excited and everything. And so my doctor had instructed me to go to the hospital as soon as my water broke because I was a VBAC high risk case. She didn't want any room for anything happening, so she was like, as soon as your water breaks, hit the hit the hospital, because we don't know how fast you're going to progress, and just to be safe, just head down there. So I was like, oh my God, I guess we're gonna have to go. Like, I didn't really feel, I felt the pains, but it wasn't that bad. So, but I was like, well, we're gonna have to go. So we go, and this is like at 11 o'clock. We get there and they check me and everything, and they're like, well, I don't know if that was your water. I think it's just the fluid. And I'm like, well, I've been having contractions all morning, and, you know, I don't know. I'm coming to check because my doctor told me to come. So they do a little swab test on me, and they were like, well, it wasn't your water. But just keep an eye on your contractions and whatever, yada, yada, yada. Sent me home. I go home and I keep contracting all day long. They do not stop, 7 to 10 minutes apart. And of course they start getting closer together. So they start getting closer together, and, geez, we're fast forward all the way until about 10 o'clock at night. And they really start intensifying. They get closer together, and the pain level is more unmanageable for me. And I'm thinking, okay, this must be it. Like, it's gonna happen tonight. There's no way I can even sleep like this. So it's gonna happen. So I just told my husband, I'm like, you know what? The pain's getting bad. So I'm going to just take a shower and see if I can even make it through the shower, and if I get out of the shower and it's really bad, let's just go back. So he's like, okay. So as soon as I step in the shower, I'm like, oh, I couldn't even wash myself, you know, without feeling in such pain, because the contractions were pretty strong. So I'm like, hurry up in the shower, finish up, and then I'm like, we need to go because it's bad. And he's like, okay. So we get in the car, get ready to go. The hospital I went to is the only VBAC friendly hospital like close to me, so it was probably about 25 minutes away. So we drive 25 minutes, and literally as we get off the freeway there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like holding on to I'm like in such pain, okay? So we get in there and we go up the elevator to the 3rd floor. Literally as soon as the elevator settles, my water breaks. And I'm like, okay, now that was definitely my water. I know it was. If they say it wasn't, they're insane, because I know that had to have been it. So as soon as they check me in, they check it and see if it was my water, and they're like, oh yeah, definitely your water, and you're dilated to 2. So I was like, 2? If this is a 2, I'm gonna die probably. But anyway, I just stayed strong. And by the time they checked me and did all of that, it was already midnight. So by the time they admitted me to a room, it was about midnight. And as soon as I got admitted, everything just started intensifying. At this point, my contractions are about 2 minutes apart. Really painful, and everybody's just there. My mother-in-law, sister-in-law, my mom, my husband were there, and everybody's just kind of watching me get through the pain, trying to help as much as possible. And about, I don't know, 4 o'clock rolls around, and I'm still contracting, still staying strong on the no medication, no epidural. My nurse kept coming in and saying, are you sure you don't want anything? I'm like, no, I don't want anything. Like, what don't you understand about that? Like, she's like, okay, well, we'll see, you know, once you get farther along, you're gonna want something. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So anyway, she checks me, and I'm only like a 6, and I'm at this point at a 6, I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna die. If this is a 6 and I'm not even to a 10, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but honestly, during that whole time, I wasn't even thinking about like the epidural. I wasn't thinking like I need to get it. No, I didn't really think. I think my mindset was so strong already, and the fact that I had been manifesting for months that I wasn't going to get it. I think that it just didn't even cross my mind. But anyway, around 4 o'clock, I'm in excruciating pains. Contractions are like a minute apart. And I'm like, holy crap. And then I just started feeling an immense amount of pressure. And I'm like, I kept telling my mom, I think I have to push. And she's like, no, don't push because, you know, we don't know yet. Like, don't do anything on your own. Let's have them check and see what happens. So we called them in to check because, like I said, I'm in a lot of pain and I wanted them to see if I've dilated and progressed anymore, because the pressure I was feeling, I was like, this has got to be it. Like, after watching all the stories and hearing everybody's stories, I'm like, I think this is the pressure everybody's talking about. So my nurse comes in and she's like, no, we just checked you. I'm not going to keep checking. Like, you know, if we do that, that's going to be bad, and do not push because your cervix is going to become inflamed, and then you're gonna have to have another C-section. Like, she was threatening me, trying to scare me with another C-section, and that just pissed me the hell off. But whatever, that's a whole other topic. And so she was like, I'm not gonna check you, we'll wait an hour. And I'm like, an hour, lady? Okay, this baby is gonna be born on its own if you don't. I'm like, you know what, at that point I was like, I don't care anymore what everybody's telling me. They kept telling me not to push, and I'm like, you know what, I have to push so bad. My body actually started pushing on its own. So I just was like, you know what, fine, you don't want to help. If this baby's born, I don't know what to tell you, you know, because I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and I know, I just feel this, my body just naturally started doing its thing. So my mom calls the nurse button back, and she's like, my daughter's gonna push. If you guys want to be here, great. If not, I don't know. So they come in, of course, because they're like, we gotta see what's going on. They probably thought we were a bunch of crazies. But anyway, they come in, and the nurse checks, and she's like, oh my God, you're full-blown 10. Like, you're ready to go. And I'm like, yeah, no, duh. I've been telling you for the past 30 minutes that I've had to push, and I've actually had to hold him in. I've been holding him in, which has been even more painful than anything, because you guys are trying to prolong this process, but whatever. So, she's like, we're going to do a couple of practice pushes, and then, you know, whatever. And I'm like, okay, let's just get going, because I'm literally holding him in as much as I can. I have to push so bad. So anyway, as soon as we do the first practice push, he starts like going past the crowning phase, and did that one push, and then second push, heads out, third push, completely out. So it only took me about 3 to 5 minutes to deliver him, and it was just by far the most crazy experiences, rewarding experiences. I really am so proud of the fact that I was able to stick it out and stick to my guns on being unmedicated, and you know, I wouldn't trade it, any part of it, for the world. You know, as soon as he was born, it was just a big, huge relief. And I was so thankful that, you know, God was able to help me through this whole VBAC journey. And, you know, it was just the best day of my life. And I can say that the recovery is so much better than a C-section. And I really don't want a C-section ever again if I can help it. And I'm just so thankful that I was able to experience a VBAC and it be successful. If you have any questions or anything on a VBAC and you'd like to comment, I would love to answer your questions in case I missed anything. And yeah, that was my VBAC, and I'm so proud to say I officially did it. And if you want to do it, you can do it. Don't let doctors or nurses or anyone boss you into thinking otherwise or whatever. If you got that approval, you can do it, and you can make it through. If you want to go unmedicated, you can do it. It's totally possible, and it's so rewarding. And all you do is see how strong you really are and how capable you are of doing anything you set your mind to. So you can do it. You got this, and thank you for watching.
This is the number medication. It's a little thing number, but